Hello there, this is Klaud, and I'm here with my guest, Alec Burqez. Um, Alec, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you, man?
Not too bad. Um, now, how do we get in contact with each other? Would you like to tell the people?
I think we just like randomly encountered each other on Instagram one day over a Star Wars reel. I think through a comment, if I like a comment section, if I recall correctly. I can't for the life of me remember which reel, but I mean, it got us in contact.
It wasn't a Star Wars reel. It was a
Oh,
post about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she was doing something that's like, uh, every once in a while she does something that's like, wait, that's the left position
I
to
know
take.
it's
And it's
horrible.
very confusing because like she was known as like the crazy QAnon lady forever. I mean,
Yeah,
she still kind of is. Let's be honest. And
no,
you
she
said this
hasn't
is like
changed.
the Emperor siding with the Wookiee slaves who built the Death Star.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember. Yeah. That was a rough one to watch.
And I'm like, I have to follow this person. I have to talk to them because like that's such a I mean, no pun intended, in universe kind of conversation between Star Wars nerds.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, where is there a lie at all in that? I mean, it pretty much is just Palpatine being like, "Oh, we have to make sure that these Wookiees all go free," and I'm like, oh, "Okay, you need to calm down, Marjorie Titan Green. That's not cool." Like, ugh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I mean, like, I appreciate her making the right fight each other, but I'm like, she's
Hmm.
still not our ally.
No,
We keep
no,
that straight. I'm like,
no.
sorry to keep it political, but she just was trying to push in a vote through the House to
Hmm.
uh, criminalize anybody that gives gender affirming care to
Yeah,
minors. I'm like, that's
like,
unhinged.
yeah, no, she can have like one valid point about what's happening in Gaza and then be completely wrong about everything else. And unfortunately, it's the establishment Democrats who are getting outflanked by her in like regards to what's happening in Gaza. Like,
Yeah.
granted, you have some on the more leftist positions like AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and barely Bernie. He hasn't called it. I mean, he's only called it a genocide once, if I am correct in my
You have to
assessment.
be really nudged into it. I'm like,
Really pushed.
at least he's, he doesn't take money from like APAC or DMFI. He
Yeah,
was pushing for a weapons embargo,
yeah.
but I kind of feel like you should have said this like a year ago.
Yeah, I mean
Seems a little overdone.
he's definitely more on the liberal Zionist side, more than anti-Zionist. I mean, that just kind of comes from like age and just from his generation. Like, older generations are not going to be as like open about anti-Zionism as like people of our generation.
Yeah, and I
You
think
know?
part of it is that like a lot of American Jews are kind of like indoctrinated, think Zionism is good because of historical trauma.
Hmm. And I mean, like, granted, with like Zionism's original inception was like around the 1600s. It started out as a Christian idea before it was even ever a Jewish idea.
Right.
And just the whole concept of Zionism in and of itself is just anti-Semitic to its core because it relies on Jewish hatred around the world in order to justify its existence. Which is, can I cuss on this show by any chance?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it is genuinely disgusting,
Yeah.
and that's why for people that are not, really up to date what's going on, go
Hmm.
to the scholars that like know everything about the situation, and go to anti Zionist Jewish activists that have like
Hmm.
really been in the forefront, like Jewish Voices of Peace, now
Hmm. Yeah.
all those groups. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
let's get back to Star Wars.
Let's go back to Star Wars. Yes, I mean, it's kind of hard to escape it if everything what like Andor has done the last like 3 years.
Yeah,
Just like kind of
it's one of the
reminded
most
me
effective shows of the past decade.
uh, of like the past like 3 decades. Let's be real. Oh my
Well,
god.
I want to say this decade because like there's a lot of shows I don't watch, so I'm like I can't say that for
Hmm.
certain. I'm just like
Yeah, I
I
watch a
can give
lot.
it, I can
I
give it a
watch a
decade.
lot of TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, how did you get into Star Wars, and what is your relationship with the franchise now?
Man, I mean, I can't tell you a time where Star Wars hasn't been an integral part of my life. I mean, I think my earliest memory, I was around 3 or 4, and I was at my grandparents' house, and I vividly remember the opening Hoth scene of Empire, and just being terrified of Luke getting just like taken by the Wampa. And like I just remember, like, I mean, when you're that young, or at least in my case, you can't conceptualize that a movie is fictitious. So in
Right.
my head, I was like, "Holy shit, this guy just got fucking taken by a Yeti!" Like,
Yeah.
how do you do that? And then when he started using the Force to pull his lightsaber out, that was another mind blowing thing.
You reacted like this was found footage.
Is that, yeah? Oh, 100%. Like, look what's happening. How do you make that up at 3 or 4 years old? And so, I mean, when I was around 5, I dressed up as Anakin consistently for like 3 years for Halloween. And my nickname, I mean, my dad still calls me Alec. So that's just kind of like par for the course on how my relationship is with Star Wars back then. As of right now, though, I think the only strong tether I have to Star Wars up to date is Andor, just because of just how I think the issue that I've had seeing other Star Wars fans is they need nostalgia in order to justify their fandom, their love for the fandom. It feels I've seen a lot of Star Wars fans online that are anti-Andor talk about how this isn't Star Wars. There's no like proper Star Wars feel to it, and I'm like, well, yeah, I understand the criticism, but at the same time, Star Wars just isn't just about one family systematically fucking up the galaxy for every generation or two. Like, I think what shows like Andor and movies like Rogue One and anything that Tony Gilroy has touched within the franchise has given like new life to the franchise. It shows like the actual ramifications of what the fallout of Palpatine's rise to power, Anakin's fall to the dark side, the failure of the Jedi has on the galactic whole. Like I think, and like,
I mean,
so
Rogue One still has that tether because, like,
yeah,
Darth Vader is like a big part of that story.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. But like, what I love, I remember right after watching the Andor season 2 finale, I jumped right into watching Rogue One, and I think that gave Vader's entrance like that much more weight because the entirety of Andor, it's like boots on the ground, people trying to fight for the rebellion, people trying to like fight their oppression against the Empire, and it's solely like the faces of the Empire you get are like Dedra Meero or Leo Partagas or even Krennic, even though he's not in it as much as I would like him to be because I fucking love Ben Mendelsohn. But with all that grounding of like real people trying to fight this real empire, it just really shows just how kind of absent or like how little people actually know about Vader's existence until he's right there in front of you. So it's like, from the perspective of those rebels in the hallway scene, they don't know what the fuck this thing is. This is a gigantic robot devil with a laser sword. They never seen that. There's no like record of like the Jedi or anything like that they have to go on. Like they have the myths and stuff, but this is their first like actual encounter with a Force user in like 30 years. Right. And so, like, with my, and I think because of my passion with like how I'm talking right now about Andor and Rogue One, that is where my like allegiance has been tied to the franchise lately because the sequels were abysmal, to say the least. I'll be kind in that like my assessment of that, but like Force Awakens was okay, it has a lot of problems. Last Jedi was an issue. But I have to kind of give Rian Johnson a little credit for trying to take it into a new direction that wasn't just a rehash of the same cycle. And then obviously Rise of Skywalker is, 50 feet below ground, so we're not even gonna bring that up. But my relationship with the franchise is still strong, but it's definitely more in the realm of like the seriousness that Andor and Tony Gilroy has brought to the franchise.
So I would say my basic journey is that when I was very young, I would watch the re-release VHSs of the original trilogy. My dad introduced me to it, and one of the first movies I saw in the theater was Attack of the Clones.
Oh, sick!
And when I was a kid, I was it was much like you. I was an Anakin fanboy. I even had the goddamn rat tail and the license. And like I didn't want to believe my dad that I was like that. Anakin Darth Vader somehow just blindsided by Anakin doing a little ethnic cleansing of the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah.
But I would say that I was already a big fan of the universe throughout my childhood. But when I was 18, Force Awakens came out, I was reinvigorated with a new passion where I wanted to know everything. I became obsessed with the Gluck shows and like little minutia of the histories of these characters. And I'm definitely in a different boat in my opinion on the sequel trilogy. I really enjoy Force Awakens. It's one of my favorite movies. I understand that it does have issues. Last Jedi is my favorite movie, period. I think it in my personal opinion, is the best movie in the franchise. Rise of Skywalker is.
I think
it's like, of course, I love it, but is it particularly very good? No, I think the last final act was actually really good. The first act is like an ADHD fever dream.
So can I ask you, like, what do you love most about The Rise of Skywalker?
I genuinely think one of the best scenes in the sequel trilogy is Ben speaking to his father on that catwalk on Agent Class. Like I think it's so beautifully done. It really hits me hard. I do think most of the way they do it, Leia actually does work. I think most of it does hold up. But the big issues I have with the movie is it's retcon city.
That's the biggest issue for me personally as well.
Yeah, I think there's for the most part, movie just seems fine. Like going back to it, like the first time I was like, I was getting hung up on so many things, and the second time I was like, okay, it's not that bad. It could have been so much better. One of the things that I remember that just completely mystified me, I felt like Jackie Chan in that one meme, was how they did, General Hux. And I'm like, come on, man.
I'm the spy.
You could have found something more clever than that.
Like, come on. This guy was literally like giving a whole ass Nazi speech in Force Awakens as he blew up the Hosnian Prime system, and now he's just like, I'm the spy.
Yeah.
I think I think the biggest issue the sequels faced was there was no plan. Like they had like Force Awakens set up the groundwork for all these like amazing stories to be told, but then the hard pivot that Rian Johnson took, The Last Jedi, turned a lot of people off. A lot of that was. Would you agree that it's like the most divisive film in the franchise?
Yeah. And the pretty much the sole reason that it is divisive is because so many people have this expectation of what they wanted Luke to be.
Yeah, I agree.
When they're given something that's like a challenging character arc, they reject it. And like I think it does pretty well. Like actually, like if you actually are not like so obsessed of like looks like this, look like this. If you actually absorb the actual story of like him having this tragic irony of wanting to avoid Darth Vader coming out again, his nephew, and
he fucked up.
Do that. He kind of reinforces it. Like he kind of makes that fate. And he has this incredible shame, and like even when he tells Rey that the worst thing you can see is down, in this hole, and the worst thing that's there is a mirror. The worst thing he has to face is himself. Yeah, and I think a lot of people weren't like ready for like a lot of the themes I was trying to lay down, because they're just like, I want Luke to be Superman and Jesus combined.
They had this like boyish expectation of how Luke was in the original trilogy when he was literally like 20, 21 years old. And like that's another like 35, 40 years of development that was off screen that we were not privy to. And so like that's why I'm more receptive to Luke being as curmudgeonly as he is, because like he saved his father Vader from like, you know, complete evil, even though like I personally don't know if Anakin was actually redemptive for everything he did by killing Palpatine. That's another discussion.
He shouldn't have gone 4-7. He could do that redemption of just killing the Emperor, but Ghost seems to you.
Like, ooh, you a lot of dead kids on that ledger, brother. Like, come on. Like, okay, but like with Luke, like I want to know, because clearly the darkness that was building inside of Ben when he was probing his mind was like immense. Like, and that's I think an issue that we didn't get to see is like, we saw like, you know, the like Luke's eyes being horrified of what Ben was dreaming of or what was stirring within him as Snoke or like, you know, Palpatine was actually like, you know, like getting him to be corrupted.
As we talk about the movie in the context it was made, we're not going with the retcon.
You're not going, okay. Let's just go with Snoke then. So, dude.
Because like right there, you're trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Exactly. Like quick little like 2-second side tangent. My friend and I, who are diehard Star Wars fans, we want to get the word somehow tattooed on ourselves. And I trick people. Yeah, you know that's going. So we want to like trick people into thinking it's like, you know, somehow we'll prevail, but in really it's just somehow Palpatine returned. And but back to like, you know, with Luke's direction, I liked it. I mean, it makes sense that like, he has all this shame. He had this like moment of weakness where he like was like really contemplating for a second what his nephew was becoming, and clearly it was more intense than what Vader was. And that's why I think what they needed to flesh out a bit more is just like how vicious Ben's corruption was that we didn't get to see. Because like, if Snoke had already gotten,
I don't think you can put that on the foot of Rian Johnson. Like, he was given this point in the story, and he's like, he just has to work off it. He's like, okay, what's the best way I can explain Luke would be on this island and make it thematic? Yeah, and I just think he did the best he could with what he was doing.
I agree with that. I think ultimately that boils down to a lack of like a narrative plan for the trilogy. Right. You know, like
there should have been a story group that got together and did a rough like plot point arc.
Yeah, and that's the fucking crap that's with J.J. Abrams' mystery box crap, dude. Like it's all about just like, oh, what if, rather than like actually sitting down and making like a solid cohesive narrative that will like bring, obviously no matter what, Star Wars is going to put butts in seats. That's just the nature of a franchise that big. But if you want your legacy to be like fondly remembered, like you have to have a plan. And like, as crappy as like the prequels are received at the time of their release, they're looked back very fondly now because they had a cohesive structure of how Anakin was going to fall, even though the dialogue is really clunky and the CGI is not that great, and Attack of the Clones at least. Exactly. Insane. But like that's why the Clone Wars is able to fill in like so much of stuff from between 2 and 3 and really flesh out Anakin's character, because like before Clone Wars, people just saw Hayden Christensen being told he's not going to be a master and saw him as this little whiny little bitch. Right. And like I remember being like, what, I was like 2005, I was 8 years old, and I was like, why did he just like switch up so quick? What, he didn't like get his promotion?
Yeah, and that's the strength of like the supplementary material, like Clone Wars, and you know, people rave about. There's people that hate Revenge of the Sith the movie and love the book on Matthew Stover.
I've read like a little bit of the book, and it does flesh out a lot of like the inner turmoil of both Anakin and Obi-Wan. Yeah. But granted, I haven't read the whole book, so I can't like speak with authority on like the differences.
I just know it's highly ranked amongst fans, especially in the Legends area.
Okay.
But yeah, like I mean, What I want to see like a Clone Wars style series that is like about the sequel trilogy characters. Damn right I would, because like right now the only thing we have is like a bunch of side characters that we haven't seen in it, except for Poe in Resistance. I mean, there's no Finn, there's no Rey, there's no. One of my favorite characters I got shafted all hell, Rose.
That poor actress, man. She didn't deserve any of that. That was just the writing of the character. She had nothing to do with it.
I don't think. I mean, in Last Jedi, like I don't have any real issues with the writing of a character. But in Rise of Skywalker, like they clearly have an opening and say, "Hey, you want to come on the route, or you want to come on the adventure?" She's like, "No, I got to look at schematics." And I told my mother about that, and she made a joke saying, "Oh, she had to wash her hair."
Oh man, and that's just what's so. And like, I think it's important too to talk about how like actors like John Boyega and Rose's actress were treated because of their minority status. Like John Boyega got done the fucking dirtiest out of any of those actors in that trilogy, man. Like that, like he, especially like obviously with the whole like with China's box office, they had to like remove him from the poster, and like China's anti-black racism is like pretty well documented in terms of their entertainment industry. Like change the Black Panther poster, change the poster for Force Awakens. Like, I don't know, Finn had like the greatest alley-oop to be like one of the best characters in the trilogy. And like he just got reduced to just screaming Rey for the duration of like Rise of Skywalker. And not just that, but like him like suddenly, and this is like the biggest issue of Rise of Skywalker, like you said, the retconning. He's force sensitive out of nowhere. Like, do they build that up?
I don't have much issue with it. I mean, I think they could have written it, a little less, kind of like, I don't know how to say it. It feels not cartoony. It feels like children's book in its explanation. I don't have an issue with him having any force sensitivity. I kind of thought he did in Force Awakens, not because he picks up a lightsaber because fucking Han does it, but the reason is that he can seemingly hear the screams of the people like suffering on Hazian Prime when it's being exploded on a different planet. I'm like, is he tapping in, because like the audio it plays is the screaming while he looks up. I'm like, that's the way they could like help develop
diegetically. I think just the biggest issue though is the lack of a plan. Is like all of Last Jedi, he's just doing his whole like Las Vegas trip with Rose, and just having a silly little time. Not once that I can recall was there any like hint of him being force sensitive.
J.J. Abrams, considering how the previous movie went, and I think Finn actually has a pretty decent arc in that movie, is just not the time to explore this idea. Explore it in like the Disney Plus series that come out years later. Like that's the kind of mentality I'd go with. But going back to the status of minority characters, so Finn meets two beautiful women of color that like they're like, hey,
what's going on?
We got Rose, and then we had Jana. And he still wants to pine for the white woman.
Scream at her name. I know, dude. Like, get over it. She's just not that into you. She's into mommy's boy over here. And like, that's crazy too that you bring up Jana, because I forgot who you were talking about until like I just remembered. Oh yeah, like the horse people. In that movie. Like, and that's like. And then, like,
I got no problem with that team. Like, they seem fine. Like, it's just like there's a lot of characters, and
there's a lot of characters.
It's the narrative so stretched out, you don't have enough time to develop pretty much any of them.
Exactly. And then, like,
the only time we have a real scene in the movie is when Finn and Jan are talking because it's not hinged upon plot.
Yeah, and then it's also like implied that she's Lando's daughter.
Mm.
You know, and I'm like, okay, not everyone needs to be related to everyone in this fucking franchise.
Yeah.
It's like there's a whole galaxy of people. And that's why I was like a little disappointed with the Rey is nobody, but you know, I came around to it because it makes sense. Like she doesn't have to be related to the Skywalkers or Kenobi or Palpatine. And then because J.J. Abrams was terrified of just how received The Last Jedi was,
well, how can I explain that she's not Mary Sue? I have to let the mad nerds explain why she's suddenly powerful.
Yep.
I can't just say it's fiction. Get over it.
Yeah, Palpatine. That's the easiest fucking cop out in Star Wars history. Is whenever something's going wrong, it's always Palpatine.
Yeah.
Like, and like, fuck. I also take issue with people calling her a Mary Sue. That girl was raised on a junk planet, fucking scavenging through wreckages of ships, and was like breaking into the Falcon and tinkering around with it. Y'all motherfuckers are just mad because she's a woman. Like, it's so annoying, dude. Like,
like it's the same people that call Rey Mary Sue will not say it for Ichigo Kurosaki in fucking Bleach.
Yeah, or just like or fucking Anakin. Anakin was like 10 years old. Yeah. Like, can you imagine if like Anakin was a girl doing all that shit? They would have lost their fucking mind.
Yeah, we like. What do you mean? That she just she exploded the Trade Federation ship?
Yeah. Oh, what spinning? Oh, she spun, and that was a good move, and that's how she like. It's so goofy, but yeah, I mean, like John Boyega deserves. Finn as a character deserved way more than what he got in the end. I personally think he should have been like the focus of the trilogy. Like, yeah, Rey. I don't know. It just would have been fucking fantastic seeing what he could do.
Or you know, I could be fully content with him having like a real arc in the last movie. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
you know, it was a little wonky, but at least he got like something like okay, that's a good ending. Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons that that you would probably appreciate the fan script rewrite I did of episode 9 because I did have many issues coming out and it took years coming out, but. Finn has a more substantial arc. He has what's called basically a revolution of former stormtroopers. Rose actually gets to do things.
Yeah,
Palpatine is not in the story.
No, fuck.
And I'm able to figure out a way to keep Ben/Kylo alive, but he's no longer an issue on the table.
Yeah, it's just like. And it's also interesting. I saw a video earlier this week about Finn as a character, and I think this guy brought up the point that we should have seen more of like the turmoil within Finn by killing other stormtroopers because the whole like there he is.
Yeah, one of the guys went from.
Yeah, fucking dream team ship right there, dude. Love them together. It is their end game. Why the fuck was Carrie Russell even in that movie if she didn't take her helmet off? Nah.
Because we needed to let the audience know that Poe is heterosexual.
He's a straight man.
Yeah,
he's an ace pilot. And
yeah,
but
they still leave in like his love triangle jealousy, like the way he acts. Like, of course, he says like, "Oh, he's keeping a secret from, Finn keeping a secret from him." But the way he acts is almost like. He knows that he has a crush on Rey and he's upset about it. Like the way he acts in the movie is baffling.
It's also so insane that The Rise of Skywalker is the first time that trio is ever on screen together. You ever thought about that? They are never on screen together until
you're right.
Either the very tail end of The Last Jedi or the entirety of Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, because The Last Jedi, like they're on the same ship, but they don't actually speak.
No, like Poe, like Rey literally says, "I'm Rey," and Poe's like, "I know." That's the first time they've ever met. Like, what the hell?
I mean, to me, I thought just on that line exchange, I'm like, oh, they're gonna set up like kind of won't they in the next movie? Nope.
No.
But don't worry,
I'm probably glad they don't. Yeah, I'm probably glad they don't do that. But. And then how do you feel about like the whole Reylo shit?
I mean, I don't hate it. I've never been personally a Raylo shipper. I mean, I understand the appeal because you got the angry bad boy who's done fucked up things, and you got this sweet little dainty girl that has to separate him and like make him see the light. Like I understand it. I mean, to me, the kiss that they have in Rise Skywalker is not the sexiest thing that's happened between these two characters. The sexiest thing is like them staring down each other in that fucking elevator. And he's just like, "You will turn." That to me, that's way hotter.
Yeah, I agree. I vividly remember seeing Rise of Skywalker in theaters, and that kiss got the most visceral like reaction, and it was so sad because it was primarily all girls. Right. It was just all this screaming, and then 2 seconds later he fucking dies. Yeah. And that scream was like a screaming of joy was followed by just absolute horror. Just like everyone was losing their mind, and I just started busting up, dude. That was the funniest. Well, that was one of the funniest theater experiences I've ever had because, he just fucking like falls over and dies. Yeah, I feel like maybe I'll be more down with them as a couple of like they're the way they first have the relationship in Force Awakens seems more like he is the angry fanboy that like is like upset that like he hates her but he wants to bang her. Like that's the kind of read I get from that movie. And like he's like kind of he wants to be possessive in the way he speaks to her, and like he gets into her mind. He throws her into a goddamn tree. he makes it go unconscious. He's a moody boy. Yeah, and like to me, their relationship, not necessarily in a romantic way, but just the relationship with those two characters, like so much of that weight is just on The Last Jedi. Like it is, it's like that meme of like the guy who has a backpack that's like the size of his body. Like that's what the weight of like that kind of interaction. Like where they start like seeing each other like in their kind of perspectives and. Yeah, like I think the whole Rashomon thing is like really well done. I agree with that too.
Yeah, like of course I got mixed feelings towards Rise Skywalker. I don't hate it. Matter of fact, like maybe I'm just just regularly more forgiving. Like there's none of the movies that I just like I think are like truly bad necessarily. It's just like some of them are just better than others. I mean, okay, I'll give you the holiday special is bad. The holiday special is bad. I can say that pretty definitively. But like, I'm someone that even likes the Ewok movies.
Yeah. I mean, like, and here's the thing. I think because I'm a writer. I think and I went to school for creative writing. I'm way more critical than I used to be because of like my education and that, and like just of how much I've written. And so I used to hate Rise of Skywalker, but it's gotten to a point now where I'm just like indifferent. Like I don't care anymore. Like it's not on my radar. It's clearly not one of the better movies of the franchise. And so I just don't have enough energy in my life anymore to just like direct so much hate for it. Because there's just better stuff in the franchise I can watch and not be like just bogged down by my like hatred for it, And I feel like that's what a lot of like people within the fandom need to realize is like it's not going to hurt you to just let go and find better stuff to watch within it. Like you can have your feelings towards Rise of Skywalker or Attack of the Clones or whatever of the quote unquote lesser movies in the franchise that you like have, but fucking choose the light side, dude. Find like better stuff in it to watch. Like you have Clone Wars, you have Andor, you have the Acolyte.
Or you can just go into it just trying to appreciate what's there and not just revisiting it because you're just like, I need to make sure I was angry. Exactly. I don't think that's the best kind of mentality to go in with it.
It leads to suffering in the end. I mean, do you really want to suffer? Like, damn.
But if you're going to be on my channel, you should know that everyone that appears gets a rap name.
Okay.
So, Alec Burqez, you are now Burqez, like the rapper Burqez, the freestyle. If you're wondering, I've already named myself Easy E.
Oh, fucking lit.
Another thing that you should definitely be informed about if you're on my channel is that I'm a man of Star Wars conspiracies.
Okay.
So not like Star Wars, not like chemtrails and like.
Yeah, no, I think like from our intro, you got a pretty level head that I can appreciate.
Yeah,
you're gonna spin off into that shit.
He's like, okay, he's not crazy.
No.
He might say some crazy things every once in a while, but he's not him himself.
Yeah. Well, let's hear what what are your top conspiracies within Star Wars?
Okay, well, the thing that people know me for is my Zillow Ray theory.
Zillow Ray theory?
Okay, so you know the Zillow Beast?
Yeah.
My conspiracy is that partial Zillow Beast DNA in our blood.
In Ray?
Yes, in Ray.
Oh, elaborate on this one.
Okay.
How the fuck is that? Oh, are you gonna go on the whole like Palpatine wanted to clone the Zillow Beast and like all this stuff?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't heard, but I was just watching an episode the other day, like babysitting this kid, and I was just like, "Fuck, this is a cool Godzilla episode."
Yeah, but like it's taken to Mount Tantus. They're also part of Project Necromancy. To me, I don't believe that they just lost all their vials. I'm like, one of the scientists is like somewhere he brought home like basically a pen from work, and it has one of the vials. It has like some DNA bullshit in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reanimated Palpatine, which is, biologically related to Rey through the clone dad, Dathan.
Yeah.
That he has some of that DNA and he passes it down to Rey with the Mother Mirror. And that's why in Rise of Skywalker, the reanimated Emperor is so much better at absorbing electricity. He becomes more powerful. Because to me, I'm like, he was spliced with their DNA. And there's things in the trilogy that I'm like, well, mostly in Rise of Skywalker, that I'm like, maybe we could explain this with this batshit conspiracy. In Rise of Skywalker, Rey gets a bad burn on her shoulder. In the next movie, it's gone. Now, the real reason is because they put the prop to cover her, like the leather strap in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
But I'm like, wait, isn't that like cell regeneration like a lizard does?
Yeah.
Also, in that movie, she's able to calm the Vexus snake, and I say that's lizard recognized lizard. And when she sees the evil version of herself, the evil version.
She got the teeth.
The
teeth.
So I feel like if we see Dr. Pershing like handle some scales, or we see Rey start shedding her skin, I feel like I'm owed a check personally by Lucas.
You'd be vindicated on that. But like, did the Zillow Beast even shed?
I don't know. I just like I just assume like every like lizard trope or reptile trope is associated with this creature.
Yeah, I mean like that conspiracy has merit. I mean, like, here's the thing with like Tantus being like destroyed. Like, come on, Palpatine has a backup for fucking everything, dude. That's not his only cloning facility. And then like, oh, man, I wish we had more Bad Batch. Now I'm sad.
You're sad Batch.
Yeah, I'm a sad Batch now, dude. Like, and I'm mad Batch that we're not gonna get any more of it. But yeah, shit. Like, what other conspiracies you got that I might like freak out on?
This one you probably won't freak out on. Like, you're probably like, okay, I can see this, kind of. I think the Alien franchise is in the same continuity as Star Wars.
Interesting. Well, I know that like in the comics, fucking Han and Chewie shoot to Earth, but like that's not part of canon anymore.
No.
Like, obviously it's in Legends. Are you going off of like canon or Legends with this? Like, okay, let's hear it.
So like I know in Legends they have like a explanation for the development of humanity, but in canon they really don't.
Mhm.
So I'm like, what if the engineers are behind it?
Shit,
Just like in the Alien franchise, as we saw
that'd be fucking.
Prometheus.
That makes sense.
It would also explain why humans can
Mhm.
have children with humanoid alien creatures. It would just be that the engineers like made a bunch of batches of like humanoid creatures, and one of them
Yeah,
like is like exactly like us.
yeah, that makes sense. Well, because I've always thought I was like, how the fuck are you smacking Twi'leks and getting kids? Like, shouldn't they? Like, they should be like monsters. They should like be like they shouldn't even be like they should be stillbirths. Like that's like biologically impossible. Like, how is that
Yeah,
even
yeah.
a thing?
But
Like,
there's like a strict connected like previous link. I'm like, oh, you're like, okay, there's wiggle room to explain this.
mhm.
Uh, and let's be honest, there's quite a few creatures in the Alien franchise, especially if you like read books and comics that are like almost exactly like the Xenomorph. Like
Yeah.
there's what was it, Black, White, and Red Darth Vader comic. There's a Zerakin that is like very
Mhm.
similar to a Xenomorph. There's a creature
Mhm.
in the High Republic comics that looks like a Xenomorph but without the phallic head.
Okay.
So I'm like, to me, you can just say those are genetic cousins. There's already a bunch of genetic cousins. Like there's the aside from the xenomorphs, there's the deacon,
Mhm.
the neomorph, the protomorph. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm really showing off my nerd credentials on this one.
Good, as you should. I just got my fiance into the Alien and Predator franchise. Well, like she saw the first Predator with her ex boyfriend, hated it, and I was like, well, too bad because we're gonna see Badlands when it comes out, and then we saw Badlands and she fucking loved it.
Man.
So that's the thing. But like, yeah, like I can see. Like, can you imagine if like I kind of want to write like an Elseworlds kind of story where like Jedi like find a planet where there are xenomorphs and they have no idea on really how to handle them because they are that deadly.
Right, and
Like
it's
shit.
something that they've never experienced.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mean, yeah, true. You have like a whole galaxy of monsters, but
Yeah,
xenomorphs are such a like unique threat
yeah.
that I
I
don't
have a
think.
nerd friend who writes comics, and he was basically comparing the xenomorph to like Venom in Marvel Comics,
Yeah,
and he was
yeah.
saying like what would happen with these different characters if they met xenomorphs from Star Wars. And I said, this is going to sound wild, but I think Yoda would be impregnated.
Mhm. Oh, dude, can you imagine if Yoda had a xenomorph? Ugh! I don't even want to think about that. Ugh.
I like how you Ralph at what you said, but not me saying Yoda be impregnated. He's just like whatever.
Well, like, yeah. Well, I mean, it kind of like blends into both. I was compensating for that, but
Okay.
oh, can you imagine like a Yoda xenomorph hybrid? What the fuck would that
Yeah.
look like?
Like I mean, I think there's a few creatures in Star Wars that would be like absolutely crazy. Like I think if Zabrak, like Darth
Hmm.
Maul's race, became like
Yeah,
xenomorph hybrid, that would be terrifying.
yeah. Just all like just horned up xenomorphs would be terrifying. Which is
Yeah,
a sentence
yeah.
I never want to utter. A horned up xenomorph is not something I ever want to repeat. But
I mean, it's a great thing I can put in out of context on my channel.
yeah, yeah, fantastic. Everyone's gonna know me as the horned up xenomorph talker.
uh,
Fantastic.
but another conspiracy that I have that I might start to lose you a little bit. I don't know. We all know that Luke definitely wanted Leia.
Yeah,
Like we
he
all
was very
accept that.
satisfied. He hit that like right after she kissed him. Like, yeah,
Yeah, and like if you read the comics, oh boy, is there a lot of
yeah.
kissy between them, especially in the Legends era. And my conspiracy is that Leia also had like a romantic feeling for him,
Hmm.
and of course everyone's like, well, she only kissed Luke to make Han jealous. Like
Yeah,
that's the only reason. Well, have you heard of these things called deleted scenes?
yeah.
If the deleted scene
Oh,
doesn't
dude.
contradict canon, I say it happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when they get real close about to kiss and they get cock blocked by C-3PO and R2D2, it leads them directly into the scene before they kiss. Like
Yeah.
it is like perfect match cut into the next scene. And I'm like, and it also shows up in the trailer, and it's like very clear that like they wanted to do this, but it was just like last moment they said, yeah, maybe not. And
I don't know. Continue. Sorry.
and just because that deleted scene was kept out, they were retconned to be brother and sister. If that was kept in, there's no way they would have kept that. They would have, gone with the retcon.
Because no matter what, people always, even today, people will be like, they're siblings. Why are they kissing? But yeah, if they had like that extra scene, that would have been very problematic to say the least.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
more
shit. Maybe Alderaan is just the Alabama of the galaxy. I don't fucking know.
Now, this next conspiracy I want to preface, I do not believe. I just think it's too funny to not talk about with guests.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, you know Snoke?
Yeah, you mean Palpatine?
No, Snoke. You know Matt Williams?
Who's that?
Indiana Jones, Shia LaBeouf's character.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Don't tell me this is where I think it's going.
They're the same person.
How in the fuck is that justifiable? You're telling me that Snoke is Shia LaBeouf?
Okay, so once again, I do not believe this. It's just too funny to not bring up. I say somehow Han, Marion, and Mutt all leave Akator, and they just go home and have a wedding. To me, I'm like, wait. Which character seems like he would go back because he's green around the gills?
Yeah, it'd be Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, Mutt will go back, and I would say maybe he gets a chunk of alien wall painting, and he gets abducted either in Peru, the United States, or serving in Vietnam, and he gets taken by those aliens we saw at the end of that movie, and they started doing experiments on him to make them look more like they do. He becomes all gray and lanky. They put a cybernetic implant into his brain to tap into that hatred of not having that father figure he wanted. So when he becomes the Temple from Pickle Snokes, and he becomes like the progenitor of wanting to turn Kylo Ren evil, he's living vicariously through him. He's like, your father was supposed to be my father, and I want him to be dead.
That's great. Dude, I can't believe. Where did you hear this one?
I came up with this on my own. And it all stemmed from me talking about how much I love Last Jedi on a podcast called SSW Network. And I was saying, we don't need to see Snoke's backstory. We don't need to see him when he was a greaser. And that was just a joke.
Yeah.
That one joke carried on from me rewatching the movies before the release of the last Indiana Jones movie. I'm like, wait, Snoke, greaser, Mutt. I'm like, this is too funny to not talk about all the time.
But here's the thing: you have to like commit to it. You have to just rage bait everyone into thinking that this is a genuine theory.
No, I don't like lying to people. But to be fair, I did make a T-shirt.
It's not lying if it's funny. Like,
yeah, I don't think that would go over well in a relationship.
But speaking of Snoke, I mean, I'm very glad that Andy Serkis got more of a character as Kino Loy, because no one would have known. I mean, like, if you know who Andy Serkis is and like intimately or with his work, his voice is pretty recognizable as Snoke. Like, he has just that distinct, gruff, like, voice of the. I can't do a good Andy Serkis impression at the moment, but I was just like, damn, they really just had him sit down and then just get sliced in half, which was like a really cool thing. That was cool.
Yeah.
But I remember watching Andor. I will always come back to Andor because goddamn, I'm a Luthen head 100%. But with Kino Loy, I remember being extremely upset that he was just like this complacent dude who just wanted to keep his head down and get his work done and get out, which I get. But dude, like, this is the Empire. I have a family friend who is basically like my uncle. He, when I was like 12, he got me into like all the movies and all the nerd stuff I'm into now. Like, he's a pretty like formative like figure in my life when it comes to like nerddom. I've been getting him into Andor, and after the No Way Out episode, he actually was just like taken aback by how like That's when he looked at me. He's like, "Dude, you're right. I'm sorry. I haven't gotten back up to this show at all." And I was like, "I fucking told you, man."
Like I already enjoyed Andor the first season, but at that point it wasn't my favorite show. My favorite show in Star Wars before then was Kenobi, but I had a lot of attachment to that character. And I mean, I still think most of the show works. Like I understand, like there's a lot of things that kind of get wonky because like they're trying to turn like something they directed as a movie into like multiple episodes. But like to me, I think the final episode is like so emotionally ripping. But when I got to Andor season 2, I'm like, okay, now this is fair. Like Andor 2, like really brought it up for the second season for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like again, the first 3 episodes of season 1 of Andor are slow. Whenever I recommend the show to someone, I preface that very intensely. Like it is a very meditative show. First 3 episodes, not a lot is happening, but then you get to the Aldhani heist, which is fucking insane. Love the eye. Arguably one of the best visuals, if not the best visual, like set piece in Star Wars for me personally. And then you have the whole Narkina 5 prison arc, and then you have Rick's Road. But yeah, with season 2, I think. Have you ever heard of the movie Conspiracy? It's a
is that movie about like spies in Algeria?
No. So Conspiracy is a World War II movie. It's literally just a meeting, but it's basically it's based off this real life meeting that Nazi high command had on this one little island in I think Switzerland or Sweden, and that's where they discussed the final solution. And that entire first episode of season 2, where it's the plot of Gorman, where they're gearing up to just strip mine the entire planet. That scene is ripped directly from Conspiracy and like the actual meeting that the Nazis had in order to like come up with a final solution. And that's why I think Tony Gilroy, personally, this is my personal take, I think Dave Filoni should be replaced and Tony Gilroy given helm to. I think that is probably controversial to say, but I think Tony Gilroy should helm like further Star Wars writing projects, because when you have, and I know I can hear it in your voice.
I mean,
but
to me, like the issue I have with that is like I think Tony Gilroy is good for creating the Star Wars that he knows how to make. I don't think he would be a good fit for every kind of Star Wars, especially things that involve the Jedi mysticism. Like I don't think he's quite ready for that kind of storytelling.
I might have to argue a little bit with that, because I remember in season 2 when that Force healer was there on Yavin, like helping people out. I personally felt the weight of like her presence there, because she wasn't a Jedi. She was Force sensitive, but to a lesser degree. And this nameless like Force healer was just treated with so much respect because of just how forgotten as a whole like the Jedi practices were. And I feel like if Tony Gilroy were to give him like more helm as to what like the Jedi as a whole like represent, I think he could do some amazing work. Because if he was able to make the Empire feel genuinely threatening again, because I'm going to say something controversial, threatening for the first time ever in Star Wars, because the Empire in the original trilogy were bad guys, but you were only ever seeing like the actual fighting rather than like the oppression or the systematic removal and ethnic cleansing of peoples. But like with Tony Gilroy and Andor, with Narkina, with Aldhani, with Ferrets, you got to see all these aspects of the Empire that made them genuinely feel like a threatening empire for once, in my opinion. Like, I remember, like, and that's what's crazy too, is like with everything every ISB meeting scene, I'm like fucking doing a little jig because of how well the writing is on that. Fucking, that man knows how to write dialogue so well. But what I think stood out to me on his character writing was every ISB scene where Dedra Miro is like trying to like prove that she's like competent at her job and she loves doing what she does, and she sees everyone as like just fucking around. I was like, okay, yeah, girl boss, go. Let's fucking, let's climb the ranks. And then she starts torturing Bix. And I remember, oh, she's a fucking Nazi. That's amazing character writing because it made me forget like how truly vile this character was.
Right.
And so for not just that, for Tony Gilroy to take that degree and just show how evil the Empire can truly be, I feel like if he was able to do that, he can truly show how the Jedi can kind of like, with the scattered Jedi around the galaxy, like if he gets like a hold of Quinlan Vos, dude, I would be so stoked to see a Tony Gilroy Quinlan Vos show. One hundo P.
And my concern is that, like, I just think he is good at his, like, I think every writer has their flavor. I think he has very good flavor, but I think if every media that's not a book is like his voice, and like it feels like too much of the same. Like, don't get me wrong, it's good, but it's like, I love chocolate. I don't want to have chocolate every time I have ice cream. And that's how I feel. And like another thing, like I think Tony Gilroy is very good, but like I don't think he does very whimsy. I don't think he can do. I don't know if he can do whimsy well. I don't there's never been any of his writing that's made me like laugh out loud.
Even with K2.
No.
Really, I thought K2 was hilarious.
No, like I'll do like that's funny, but nothing knee slapper for me.
Okay.
So yeah, like do I think he should be like like a cook in the kitchen? But I don't think he should be a head writer for everything.
Okay, that's how I feel. That's how I feel about Dave Filoni, unfortunately. Yeah. I feel like Dave Filoni's stretched out a little too much for me personally, like butter on too much bread, as Bilbo would say. Yeah, but I mean, and that's kind of like with Mandalorian season 3. Oh, I think they leaned a little too. I think you need a good blend of whimsy and like seriousness. Right. And I feel like Gilroy is all seriousness. And then Filoni represents way too much whimsy, especially when Jack Black and Lizzo play themselves and not like characters. So yeah, I feel like maybe there should be like
I think I'm gonna upset you. That's one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, easy. Damn.
Like I understand it's goofy, but like the episode just puts a smile on my face. Like I just enjoy it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna front and saying like it's the best written episode. Like I'm not that coaxed out of my mind.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it was cool seeing droids and like in a Count Dooku shout out by Christopher Lloyd. But
okay, well, I don't want to leave you on too long, so I'm gonna try to get through the Glep Shadow and any questions or concerns based on this character.
Sure.
All right. Do you know? This Glep Shadow, this character's name is 2163.
No, definitely a droid though, or a prisoner, or a clone.
Okay, so in 32 BBY, 2163 was a Trade Federation OOM command battle droid who guarded the feed hangar during the Trade Federation occupation of planet Naboo. The battle droid was featured tan plating and yellow markings, and he was part of a regular infantry unit, but he still struggled with complex situations and while guarding the hangar, and captured a group of Naboo pilots alongside with his brethren. And he tried to arrest Master Qui-Gon Jinn, but was destroyed.
Oh, was he the one that said you're under arrest?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. He didn't do too well at his job, in my opinion.
The exact quote is, Coruscant, that doesn't compute. Wait, you're under arrest.
Fucking good job, George. You fucking knocked it out of the park with that one.
I mean,
it's like poetry, it rhymes.
I'm saying, this is one of the biggest laughs I had watching this movie.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously, the droid voice is goofy, and this is a different droid voice. It's not the typical movie here, because it's done by Peter Fenowich, who did the voice of Darth Maul in the movie, because they overdubbed him.
Mhm.
They did that twice with the main villain, the actor. But like, it's this character's voice is like so guttural,
Mhm.
and it just like hits my ear, makes it tinge like I drink ginger beer. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, do you know why they switched up on the B1 voices?
Tell me.
No, I'm asking you. I don't know why they switched it up on it.
I think maybe it's like we just want to go with this voice. I mean, I guess they could argue that they switched up the voice because like all of those old droids were like cut off when they destroyed the Trade Federation ship. So now they have more personality.
Yeah,
Because
which I'm
like,
grateful for.
they're not all hive mind kind of, but it's still confusing because like it's very clear by this droid's dialogue that like he doesn't respond like all the other ones. So like even then they're still a little confusing with the rules of like the individuality of these droids. But what I was saying, like what makes it so funny to me is that this droid clearly doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
No,
He's
he
like,
doesn't.
oh, wait,
Which is so
he's
funny. Like,
pausing.
shouldn't this be your fucking programming clinker? Like, geez.
Yeah. But I'm just like, I love that his immediate reaction is like, let me go to fascism. Let me just arrest.
Yeah. I don't understand what's going on. I'm gonna fucking put you in jail. I'm terrified.
So I like asking my guests, what do you think about this character? What do you think this character's doing? Which I don't think he's doing anything. And would you like to see this character again?
What do I think of him? I think he's
Let me make sure I pull up a photo.
It better be him pointing that finger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
he is. There he is. That's the guy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's out of here. I think that he is incapable of doing his job and should immediately be demoted. Would I like to see him again? Yeah, I would like to see him again, but like with his head on like a certain protocol droid's body in a certain arena on a certain bug planet at a certain battle.
Oh, so you want C-3PO on Geonosis? So you want this droid to be brought back?
You're saying that. I'm just putting out some implications.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting if like they brought back this droid and it just like kind of like Frankenstein reanimated and you could hear it again, and it has the Peter Fittowich voice. It doesn't have the Baker traditional, and people are like, why does this one sound different? People will be genuinely confused, and like you have all the thumbnails of like the circle around the droid, and it's like, why does this one sound different? But yeah, rest in peace to 2163.
He's a real
I
one.
hardly knew you, but
and we never will.
At the same time, I'm kind of like, go fuck yourself because you're a big piece of shit.
Yeah, like how fucking dare you try to arrest Qui-Gon, dude? Like you really have the gall to do that? Okay, man.
Yeah, you had no chance with Liam Neeson in the 90s.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Sorry, that was a little loud.
All right. Is there anything you want to say or ask?
I really enjoyed this conversation, and like if you ever have any other episodes you want me to appear on in the future, I'm more than willing to come on. I had a really good time.
Thank you for being on, Alec.
Absolutely.
Of course, this is Honest Klaud. You can watch more episodes. I've had Father Son Galaxy. I've had every the original 3 of the SSW network. I've had both men from Bombay Cast. Check them out, and
hell yeah, dude.
I don't know. Even if someone goes to those episodes and says kill yourself, well, at least you gave me a view.
Has someone said that?
No. But at the same time, when someone like threatens your life, that's how you know you made it.
Yeah. Oh well. Shit. When the books that I'm writing come out, I'm probably gonna get some death threats. So I'm right there with you.
Well, but I'll love to see what you've written. I'll share some of the stuff I've written because I do comics and I've done.
Hell yeah. I do cosmic horror, so I think you might enjoy it.
All right. Well, I don't want to leave you on too long. I know you have things to do.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. But hey, man, I really had a great time. I really am looking forward to talking more in the future.